Have you ever discovered your sperm has been stolen and sold on eBay? One of my 7 evil exes sent me the eBay listing at 2 a.m. with just 3 words. This yours, right? The screenshot showed my photo, my medical history, and a starting bid of $12,000 for what the seller called premium genetic material from accomplished architect. My hands shook as I clicked the link she'd sent, praying it was some sick joke. But the listing was real, active, with 14 watchers and 3 days left on the auction. The seller had joined 6 months ago. Perfect feedback score from selling what looked like sperm, and more. Donor is 6 feet 2 inches, IQ tested at 142, no family history of major illness, proven fertility, the description read, followed by details only someone with access to my medical records would know, including my rare blood type and the fact I'd had my appendix removed at 19. I called the fertility clinic immediately, even though it was the middle of the night, leaving frantic voicemails with their emergency line. Then I remembered. I'd never been to a fertility clinic, never donated, never even considered it. The only medical facility I'd been to recently was my urologist for a routine check after kidney stones last year. Dr. Wagner had ordered various tests, including a fertility panel when I mentioned my wife and I were trying to conceive. That was a year ago. My wife, former wife now. We'd divorced 4 months back after she discovered I'd been emotionally distant. I called Dr. Wagner and left some choice words for him in his voicemail. I searched eBay for similar listings and found 17 more accounts selling sperm, all with the same writing style, same format, same types of medical documentation that looked too legitimate to be fake. One listing claimed the donor was a Nobel laureate. Another promised Olympic athlete genetics. Mine was marked as architect with published works, which was technically true but wildly overselling my 2 articles in my school's newspaper. The vomit rose in my throat when I saw the questions from potential buyers. Can you verify the sample is fresh? What storage methods are used? Do you ship internationally? The seller had answered them all professionally, like this was legitimate business. I screenshot everything and drove to the police station, but the officer just stared at me blankly. Someone is selling your what? She couldn't even process what I was telling her. Told me to contact eBay's fraud department and maybe speak to a lawyer about identity theft. The next morning, Dr. Wagner's office finally called back. His assistant sounded nervous, kept putting me on hold. Then Wagner himself got on the line. There was a breach, he said quietly. We're still investigating, but someone accessed our sample storage 6 weeks ago. We've been trying to contact affected patients. My sample, the one they'd kept for follow-up testing that I'd forgotten existed. How many? I asked, but he wouldn't answer directly, just kept repeating that their lawyers would be in touch. I refreshed the eBay listing obsessively. The bidding had reached 18,000. Someone had posted my LinkedIn profile in the questions section. By that evening, my phone started ringing with unknown numbers. A woman in Pennsylvania wanting to know if I'd provide updated medical history. A couple in Japan asking if I'd be willing to meet their child when they turned 18. A single mother in California who'd already bought what she claimed was my sample from a different site 3 months ago and wanted to thank me for the gift of life. That's when the full horror hit me. This had been happening for months. There could already be pregnancies, maybe even babies, carrying my DNA, scattered across the world to people I'd never meet, children I'd never know existed. My ex-wife called while I was processing this. I know about the listings, she said coldly. Is this why you were so distant? Were you selling yourself online while we were trying to conceive? I tried to explain, but she'd already made up her mind. The woman from California contacted me through Facebook, sent me ultrasound photos. Congratulations, you're going to be a father, just not with me. The listing disappeared the next day, but 12 others popped up within hours, all using my information, my photos, even copies of my college transcripts I'd never posted online. The seller never responded to my messages. The police said without physical evidence of theft, only the identity fraud was prosecutable. The fertility clinic's lawyers sent a settlement offer with an NDA that would prevent me from warning other patients. And somewhere in California, a woman I'd never met was carrying what might be my biological child, bought from a stranger on the internet like some Pokemon card.